What's going on, guys? Stevie here with Lucky Crit. I know it's been a while since I've made a video. Feels bad. I don't like it. But this new job is really hitting me a lot harder than I thought it was going to. Obviously, I expected there to be, a bit of a time challenge after picking up this job. But it's a lot worse than I thought. And it basically boils down to me having about 3 hours every single night at best if I want to be working on videos and content and stuff. And it's just not a lot to be able to work with. So hasn't been the best, but I'm still here. I'm still alive. And I'm still going to keep making content because I do obviously enjoy doing this. If you haven't seen the last video where I kind of did an update and explained everything about this situation, you can check that out up here. But for now, as you can probably tell by the title from this video, we're going to be doing a little bit of a Fire Emblem mail time here. And that might be confusing to you because, what is Fire Emblem about mail time really? But you'll see in a moment why I called it that. And I don't have a P.O. box or anything like that, so it's not really that type of a video where I'm opening stuff that a lot of you guys sent me. I do have something here that someone did send me from, one of you guys out there in the community. However, for this video, I'm going to be opening up some packages that have to do with Fire Emblem, essentially. And I'm also going to be answering some of your guys' questions out there. So if you do have any questions for me, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Or you can leave them on Discord or Twitter or something like that. And next time around when I do a video like this or potentially another podcast or something like that, I'll be sure to answer them. So definitely be sure to let me know if you have any questions for me. I will be answering some today as I open some of this stuff. And let's get to it. So I don't have a P.O. box currently. That's not what this mail is from. I've considered it in the past to open one up, but to be honest, like if you want to send me stuff like letters, you can definitely let me know. But aside from that, I don't really want people to be like buying things and then having them shipped to me because I think, it's just, I don't want you guys to be spending that much money. If you do want to support the channel, you can support us on Patreon for $1 a month to get all the perks. I will be coming back with more behind the scenes and exclusives and all that good stuff. Obviously it's just been really hard. So we'll be coming back and I'm going to be trying to make more content again. Even if that means that I have to do sort of more videos like this that are a little bit more low-key and are usually just me, talking to the camera, that type of deal. So without further ado, let's get started. Unfortunately, 2 of these have already been minorly opened because somebody thought that this was for them, but it wasn't. It was for me. But I'm going to continue opening it up, and this is actually something super interesting. I don't know if you could see that. Basically, this is... Oh, wasn't even closed all the way. This, my friends, is Fire Emblem Sword of Seals for the Game Boy Advance. Confusingly, in a DS case. So just about nothing is right about this. And it's actually the English version of Fire Emblem Sword of Seals. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's actually got a whole English description written out here. Basically, this is a fan translation that somebody has taken and put onto an actual GBA cartridge. Actually, I'm going to open this and see what this is. How they decided to put a DS game, or a Game Boy Advance game, in a DS case. Oh, what do you really expect, right? But, so interesting. I actually ordered this off of Etsy because I thought it would be cool to take a look and give it a shot. I don't think I have my DS Lite right here, but I'll definitely be sure to show you some footage of that right now. Obviously, it's not going to be as easy as me just emulating it, playing it on my PC and stuff, but I just thought it was kind of an interesting little piece of Fire Emblem trivia and history to hold on to, because if you're not aware, we never got this game here in the West. This is Fire Emblem 6, this is Roy's game, and it was never officially translated outside of Japan, so this is a fan translation that people decided to put on a real cartridge so you can really play it. There's probably a more updated, better version of this fan translation patch out there. Who knows what version this is using? I'm not sure, but just something kind of interesting to talk about. And this does give me some ideas for potential future content with this type of thing. So definitely be sure to stay tuned for that. But yeah, just an interesting little piece here. I just saw it on Etsy and kind of figured, why not? So that is that. Now I'm going to answer one of your questions from Discord, so let's take a look at what we have here. So a lot of the questions that you guys ended up asking me are questions that I have answered before, but sometimes I do answer these questions on live streams and stuff, so not everybody gets to see the answer perhaps, and maybe not everybody knows. But the first question that I have here that one of you guys wrote is, how did you first get into Fire Emblem? And this was asked by Sigma on the Discord server. And I've mentioned this a couple times. I'll probably do like a full-fledged video on it at some point because I think it's an interesting little backstory, and I think that, you know, we can derive a lot of cool stories from both you guys, you know, responding in the comments, letting me know how you got into Fire Emblem and stuff like that. So full video at some point. But for the time being, the story is basically, I was in middle school at the time, actually, and I didn't know anything about Fire Emblem. I had a Nintendo Power that was probably, I don't even know, it could have been collecting dust by the time that I actually like read through it and read all the articles. I must have been bored or something, and I came across a little article that they had written in there which detailed sort of a mini strategy guide for the first couple chapters of Fire Emblem 7, which was the first Fire Emblem that we got here in the West. And, you know, I was really bored, so I read through that whole article, and by the time that I got to the end of it, I was like, hey, this actually sounds kind of interesting. Like, I wouldn't mind playing this game. So I was curious about it, and I ended up asking some people in the bust. I didn't really expect much because, you know, a lot of people probably didn't know what that game was going to be. But for some random reason, some kid on my bus had the game, didn't care about it, I guess, and ended up selling it to me for 20 bucks. And the rest is history, because after that I really, really liked it. So, yeah, I've been sort of an OG Fire Emblem fan for the longest time here in the West. I don't know if it was already a year or so after that game came out, or maybe that person had just bought it and a couple months later already didn't like it or didn't care for it and just didn't want it anymore. But I get the suspicion that that article was probably kind of old at that point by the time that I found it. But yeah, interesting. So that's that question. We're going to move on to the next package here, which is this guy. I just ended up like sort of randomly ordering some stuff. I don't even have a knife here that I should have gotten. See if we can do it the jank way. Jank way always works. All right. Okay. And amidst a crap ton of packing peanuts, somewhere in here is a huge box just for this little thing. It was actually smaller than I even thought it was going to be. I also had all these like boxes and packages sitting here for probably like 2 months now at this point that I'm making this. Very, very nice. Actually, wow, these are much better than I expected. This is the double set of both the Alm and Celica Amiibo. I didn't have them from when Echoes came out. Really wanted to have it. In case you don't know, these guys unlock 2 special dungeons within the game, and obviously there is Amiibo functionality in Echoes. Some fans were disappointed because the functionality is not that amazing. You basically get a free unit for a little turn, so you can, you know, kind of inject a little bit of Deus Ex Machina strategy in there if you're like really stuck somewhere. But they don't really do too much, and a lot of people really wanted to be able to play with like Roy, Ike, Robin, and all of them, and you kind of just get some weird ghostly versions of them, and they only last 1 turn. So, not the greatest Amiibo implementation. I'm glad it's there though. But for these guys, they do actually unlock special dungeons within the game, so I'll definitely be checking that out. And the actual anniversary, the first-year anniversary of Fire Emblem Echoes is coming very, very soon, in just a couple days actually. My original intention was to loop back around and create some brand new Echoes content for this anniversary. Unfortunately, we're getting really, really close, and I don't have anything so far yet, so I'm probably going to miss that deadline for that. But I will continue to loop back around and make that content, because I really do want to. And I do want to honor Echoes, because I really, really love Echoes and everything about it so far. So I will be coming back around, making some more Echoes content in the coming days. Be sure to stay tuned for that. You know, just a fun little 1-year anniversary celebration. But yeah, I wanted these guys in my collection. Now they could be added over here. Actually, this is the Jank Ike you might remember me talking about in a live stream. These guys are a little bit smaller scale, perhaps? Well, maybe not. Maybe Ike's arms are just massive, but, you know, if I put Ike next to Alm, they look a little bit different. But I gotta say that the detail on the Almond Celica amiibos are much better than I anticipated. I don't know if that's them getting better at this whole thing as time goes on, or if these two in general just had a lot more effort put into them, but that looks really, really good. I mean, you know, compared to this Ike's like derpy eyes that are kind of on wrong, these guys are pretty much perfect for what you could get at this scale and at this price point. So I'm impressed, actually. That's the other sketchy thing about buying amiibos too, is if you buy them online, it could come in the box online like this guy did and have a derpy face, and so that's kind of the good thing about picking it out in person yourself, because then you can kind of see if they look bad beforehand. But I'm pretty happy with that, so that's cool. All right. I will answer another question from the Discord. Let's take a look. Some people have asked me if the Fireside Emblem podcast will be coming back. That's not in the specific chain of questions that I have here, but that is one that I've seen a lot of, so I will answer that. Yes, I am hoping to do that again in the future. I did say, I think, somewhere that it was never meant to be like an every other week or every week type of podcast. It's too much work to be doing it that often. But maybe every couple of months, and it definitely has been a couple of months since I last did it. I think I last did it in January, so it's about time. It's about almost a half of a year later, so absolutely I'll try to, snag Cameron again, and I'd love to get a special guest on for the second episode, so I will be looking into doing that, and we have a bunch that we could definitely talk about when it comes to heroes and stuff. There's a lot of news that we could go over, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'll do that at some point in the future, so stay tuned for that. But let's get on to a question somebody asked me tonight. Angel Fire asked me, what is my favorite character from each game? Okay, I'll try to run through it really, really fast, because that's pretty challenging. I'm just going to put all of Marth's games in a pretty similar category. So let's start off with Fire Emblem 1. Favorite character from that game. Off the top of my head, who always comes to me instantly is Norn. I really liked her. I don't know, there's nothing that really special about her, but she's the sort of pink-haired archer character that you get if you actually have a number of people die in the first chapter. So that's interesting, but I always liked her better than Gordon. I just liked the character for some reason. I liked her model. She's cool. Fire Emblem 2, which is Gaiden and Echoes, I'm going to say, right now, it has to be Sonya. I really like Sonya a lot. Definitely part of the waifu club, if I had to say so myself. Just a cool character. I like the way that her redesign went. She looks great. Useful unit. I also like that they kind of changed her a little bit from Gaiden in Echoes, where now she has a little bit more of a utility set. Some people think that, that made her a little bit worse overall, but I think it's interesting what she can do with some of her warp skills and stuff, so I do like that. Fire Emblem 3 is tricky because it's another Marth game. I'm just going to say I like Malice. I like that Malice is a female actual sword character from way back when, so that's really cool. I didn't have a chance to play with her all that much because my playtime with Fire Emblem 12 was pretty subdued and not that extensive, but at some point I'd love to play that more, and she was an interesting character to me, so I liked her. If I had to pick a different character for Genealogy and Thracia, though, I'm going to say Eldigan, actually. I love Eldigan in Heroes. He's great. He's a great unit. We just got his son in Heroes as well, which I think is interesting, but he grew on me. I was pulling for Ike in the original first Ike banner because I was kind of hyped about Ike, and I didn't get him. I ended up getting 2 Eldigans from that banner, and I was kind of really mad at the time because I was like, what is going on here? This is ridiculous. It wasn't even a banner character, and I got 2 of him, but I ended up merging them, and he's still on my Horse Emblem team to this day, so he definitely puts in work. From Thracia, though, I'd have to say probably Ishtar. Ishtar is a big one for me right now. I really love her redesign for Heroes. I really like, in general, that all of these old characters that, a lot of fans maybe not have even had the chance to bond with and to connect with are getting these redesigns. Because when I look back at some of these old portraits, I really don't feel that connection with a lot of these characters, and I don't, get that magic of wanting to learn about them and sort of connect with them and use them and play the game that they're from. And so seeing them here and now get updated and brought to life, in the modern setting is really awesome to me. I really, really love that. And Ishtar has been a character that I've been interested in recently. Definitely part of the waifu club, of course. You know how it is. Let's see. Moving forward, Fire Emblem 6. That's a tricky one. I've still never played Fire Emblem 6. I know a fair amount about Fire Emblem 6, but I think off the top of my head, if I had to pick someone, I think Deke is an interesting character. I don't know too much about him, but he's got that edgy, shirtless look going on. I like his hair color. He's a mercenary / hero character, so he was always interesting to me. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, I guess I'm going to go with him. You know, Gwendolyn I actually like too, even though she's such a hated character, because, you know, people think that she's just a waste and not worth putting effort into, and not very good in general, but I like Gwendolyn's design. I like Gwen in Heroes. It's kind of sad. I like some of the hated characters. Fire Emblem 7, I'm going to have to say Karel, because he's just a classic to me. I love him so much. Great character. Little bit, actually sort of miffed that in Heroes they just gave him the Nameless Blade, which is kind of a very, like, ugly-looking sword in comparison to the Wodao, and he had that blood red Wodao. Originally. I'm glad that he's getting an upgrade, don't get me wrong. You know, the new Nameless Blade is definitely better than the standard Wodao, but man, I liked how it looked before. It almost makes me want to, you know, ask for a feature or something in Heroes where at some point we can have, like, skin overrides for weapons, so that way, you know, if you want your Effie to be, like, holding a carrot but still be using, you know, her Brave Lance or Berkut's Lance or something, then you could do that. So, I don't know if that opens up too many issues later on, but just something to think about, I think. And I've been thinking about that because I like the look of the Wodao a lot more than the Nameless Blade. But yeah, Karel. Fire Emblem 8, Sacred Stones. Let's go with, I'm going to say Marissa right now. I know I'm choosing a lot of sword characters. That's just how I was when I was growing up. I'm sure most of you guys are probably like that as well. I liked her a lot. And it's kind of unfortunate because I did 5-star her really quickly after she came out in Heroes. And she actually is still, to this day, one of my highest base stat total units, so she can be quite good. I even put a nice, interesting little defensive build on her, but I haven't used her too much, which is kind of sad. So maybe I'll double back around and get to that at some point. Moving forward, Fire Emblem 9. This is a tough one too. You know what? I'm going to have to go with Volk, actually, because he was an interesting character. I like the fact that you had to pay him. He was a nice assassin in that game, and I believe the only other one that you could get in Path of Radiance was Soth, who was always stuck as a thief, so wasn't really the best. I don't think Heather showed up in Path of Radiance and was recruitable. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but yeah, probably Volk. Volk was interesting to me. I'm trying to choose characters that are not swords anymore because I keep choosing sword characters. Fire Emblem 10. Oh, geez. I always loved Edward. Edward was like my Myrmidon Swordmaster, True Blade kind of a guy. But to pick someone else who's not a sword user in that game, You know what? I'm going to give some love to Fiona, because Fiona was a character that was kind of overlooked by a lot of people, probably considered not to be that great as a unit. But overall, I think what really hurts her is her inclusion in certain chapters. She's actually in the Est video I did a while ago, which you can check out. She just kind of is recruited and used in some weird moments, weird chapters, and doesn't really get that much of a time to shine in the very, you know, early parts of the game. And so she just ends up being one of those extra side characters for a lot of people. But her growths are pretty good, and I like the character. I like the look. I like how she has the light blue, like cyan armor. It's pretty sick. Okay, Fire Emblem 11, we did Fire Emblem 1, we did Shadow Dragon, and 12, we already did 3, so I'm going to skip those. Let's go to Fire Emblem 13, Awakening. I'm going to have to say, right now, probably Tharja. I'm considering plus 10ing her in Fire Emblem Heroes. It's probably going to be my first legit plus 10 character. If not her, then Camilla, I think, just because I have so many of them floating around. But yeah, I've been considering it for a while. I like Tharja a lot. She's a highly sort of controversial character. A lot of people hate her. A lot of people like her. I don't know. But I like her design, and I really like her in Heroes. She's definitely one of my favorite units to use in Heroes as kind of a standard but pretty solid red mage. So there is that. Fire Emblem 14, we're looking at Fire Emblem Fates. Let's see, for Fates, without picking Camilla, basically, I'm thinking probably either like Laszlo or Selena, actually. Selena I like a lot, you know, without delving into any major spoilers or anything. I just like the character. I like her kind of rude personality, the tsundere type of personality. I don't know. I like her a lot. She's currently in my front unit in Heroes that she's helping out other people's teams. I have her merged, I think, up to +3 at this point. I'll probably +10 her at some point, too. I got a solid IV on her and some good skills that I invested in her, so I don't know. I just like Selena. Fire Emblem 15 is Echoes again, and that ends our little run through here, and we can finally get to the third and final piece of mail for the day, which was in fact addressed to Stevie Spellberg. This one happens to be from Uveria, who is a Discord user, part of the Lucky Crit community. She's also a moderator on Discord for the past while. She's incredibly helpful. She's pretty much the mom of the Discord server, and she's always doing giveaways and stuff, trying to send people stuff. So definitely say hi to Uveria if you see her on there. This is... oh, I just ripped it a little bit. Sorry, Uv. Stevie, a.k.a. Big Boy Blue, with the little laugh emoji. What is this? This is a personal letter. I'll probably keep it to myself, but let me see. I already see that it's super sweet. Thank you, Uveria. Basically just talking about the community and stuff and how she enjoys being a part of it. So thank you. I don't know what's in this, but let's take a look. I can't really remember what you're going to send me at this point because it was a couple months ago. Ah, that's right. This is going to be another great addition to the collection. So if you don't remember the Fire Emblem collection video that I did a little while ago, basically I mentioned at one point I threw in a little bit of a story about Fire Emblem Fates and how I kind of was really searching for that special edition. And you can check out that video if you want to hear the full story. But basically, I didn't end up with those kind of exclusive GameStop keychains that they were giving away. And Yubi saw that video and had the keychains herself and didn't really want them. I don't really know why, but that was really sweet of her to send them to me. So that's going to be a part of the collection now. We got a little Xander, Azura, and Ryoma. Really, really cool. I don't think I'll use them on my, actual keys and keychain, though. I don't want to mess them up, so I'll probably just keep them in these little bags, but definitely a great addition to the collection, so thank you so much, Yuvi. And that's going to wrap up mail time. Let me see if we've got one final question, perhaps, that I'll answer. Anti-Skillshot asks, what do you feel is the best thing in Fire Emblem, in my opinion? That's a great question. I actually had to sit here and think about it for a minute to realize what it really is about Fire Emblem that does it for me. And I have to answer, I think, something that I said in a collab video a little while ago, actually with Pavis or Pavice Productions. You guys probably know him. He's an up-and-coming Fire Emblem YouTuber. And in that video, we were talking about what else? Lucky crits, critical hits in Fire Emblem. And honestly, for me, I think that's really what does it. It's a really, honestly, once again, a pretty hotly debated aspect of Fire Emblem because a lot of people don't like, the random chance, when it comes to strategizing and stuff. It kind of throws a wrench in a lot of stuff sometimes when all of a sudden you get critted out of the blue. But in my personal opinion, no matter how much you plan, I don't think that you'll ever be able to create and operate flawlessly to the point where unpredictable stuff doesn't happen. So to me, that's sort of almost that element of reality being injected back into the game. But I also think that, from a gameplay perspective, I've never had more passionate moments with Fire Emblem than when experiencing a critical hit, especially when you're in a very tight situation and you're either about to lose or you're going to lose a character, someone's going to die if they don't, if something miraculous doesn't happen, and then you manage to pull off that amazing 1% or 2% critical hit. Those moments are some of the greatest moments, in my opinion, when it comes to playing Fire Emblem. You never feel more invested than in those moments. And it's because of those moments, actually, that I decided to name this channel what I did. So, there you go. That is going to wrap up this video. If you have more questions for me for future videos, be sure to leave them down here in the comment section. Sorry it's been so long. I'll be trying to make more content coming soon. There's a million heroes, things I could talk about. I'll try to get to what I can get to. We'll see what happens here. I know a lot of you guys used to rely on this channel for Fire Emblem news, and obviously that has not been a thing for a while. We'll see if we can get back to that point or to something. I might have to simplify some videos or, change up the way that I make things a little bit just to make it a bit easier so I can kind of get them out faster. Obviously, I still want to strive for really quality stuff, but with 3 hours or less a night, it's just not always possible every single week. But once again, yeah, I will be trying, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and for continuing to watch throughout all the videos that I've made so far. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being an amazing community and fan base. I love you guys. And of course, how could I end the video without a shout out to all of our amazing patrons? Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It's fans like you that really just, I don't have words, so thank you so much. And I'll be sure to see you in the next episode.